Welcome back, I'm Morgan Norris, and as you can see at home, I have no hair. I suffer from what 1 in 3 Black women have, alopecia areata. First, I spoke with University of California dermatologist Dr. Oma Agbai. I also spoke with Trichologist Deanna Browley, owner of Relax She's Natural on the west side of Chicago. We discussed the unique medical and mental burden Black women with alopecia carry. Good morning, Dr. Agbai.
Good morning, Morgan. Thank you so much for having me.
Jumping right into it because I have a lot to ask you. First, walk us through it, dumb it down. What is alopecia areata?
Alopecia areata is an autoimmune form of hair loss in which the immune system mistakenly targets the hair follicle. And it leads to sudden non-scarring hair loss that often appears as round patches on the scalp, but it can also affect the eyebrows, eyelashes, or even the entire scalp or body in more severe forms.
A 2025 pediatric dermatology study found that Black, Hispanic, and Asian children experience alopecia areata at higher rates than white children. Yet there is little research on how it uniquely impacts Black girls. Why do you think there's little research for our specific demographic?
Many clinical trials and epidemiologic studies have had limited representations of patients with darker skin tones or different hair types. And when that happens, it becomes harder to understand how conditions affect specific communities. Hair carries deep cultural meaning in many communities, particularly for Black women and girls. It's closely tied to identity, self-expression, and social belonging. And yet the psychological aspects of hair disorders in these populations have not always been prioritized in research.
Here's what Browley had to say about this mindset being generational.
You're battling against a standard of beauty that only can relate to inches and having all of the 50-inch bust down and the different popular styles, right? You have so many young women that are just taught to cover it up and keep it moving. And find someone to lay that lace and keep it moving. But when you remove it, the problem still lies there.
Another 2025 study by the Global Burden of Disease found that children and young adults with alopecia areata are more likely to experience anxiety, depression, and all of these other psychological disorders. So what correlation have you seen within your treatment of your patients between hair loss and poor mental health in your practice?
Hair loss can have a significant psychological impact, and I see it every day in my hair loss clinic at UC Davis. When hair loss occurs suddenly, as it can with alopecia areata, it can affect confidence, social relationships, and daily activities. Because of this, comprehensive care often includes attention to mental health, which is a critical component for care. Support groups, counseling, and patient communities can play an important role alongside the medical treatment provided by a doctor.
Are Black women being diagnosed at appropriate rates? Browley has some thoughts about this that I want you to hear first.
I had 2 clients who went to dermatologists and still was misdiagnosed. And it wasn't until they went to a specialist to find out that, hey, this is deeper than a bad relaxer. This is deeper than tight or extremely tight extensions.
I am seeing a trend where Black women with alopecia are coming in with a diagnosis, for example, of traction alopecia, which is a form of alopecia that is induced by tight hairstyle. After further investigation or biopsy, we find that the alopecia is actually a different type of alopecia, scarring alopecia, such as frontal fibrosing alopecia. Black women with alopecia have more possible diagnoses aside from traction alopecia. I think we just need more education in the medical community to realize that alopecia is a complex series of conditions that can affect any ethnicity in different ways. Patients should see themselves reflected in medical education, clinical research, and healthcare leadership.
Hopefully with all of this, we'll see some progress and somebody else out there will be able to experience feeling more seen having alopecia. Thank you so much, Dr. Agbai.
Thank you so much, Morgan.
For medical and/or mental resources for alopecia, go to www.naaf.org.